buildings like these that make me fall in love with Hanoi, everybody. Just look at that. Welcome back to Vietnam. We are here in Hanoi, about to check into our Airbnb here in the old quarter. Got our luggage, got our key, just doing the Airbnb check-in instructions. So much going on here. We're outside this really beautiful cafe actually, but let's get to our room. Definitely different than how the listing showed it online. Here is the entrance. Definitely some mold, I think. Sink. So Vanessa, do you want to call this place home? You look traumatized.
If you saw the photos of this place, you would be flabbergasted.
All right, so enter the listing. Oh, it's so beautiful. Definitely is brightened up. It looks a lot more modernized versus this. Well, it definitely has a French feel. If you're talking about like maybe 1600s France. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, everything definitely has a antique feel, but not like a cute preserved antique. It's like it's about time to get rid of that antique kind of feel. You can see, it's not a big deal, but a little bit weathered here. And yeah, it just kind of feels like an attic room. I do want to comment that the listing we originally booked seems like it was taken down and then reposted, as there's no reviews yet, and the pictures definitely more accurately show some of the weathering and make it look less glamorous and just a more realistic stay. So that's good to know. But hey, even though it's not as cute and bright, still a good location, guys. It has a nice big bed, which actually feels really soft. Yeah, that's a pretty good bed. It's a little bouncy, a little bouncier than I like. Let's get some food in Hanoi because I am freaking starving. Oh, it looks lovely. These banh mi's are really good. Pretty big size too, bigger than the ones I had in Hanoi. And we're just sitting here eating right at the sidewalk. These little plastic stools. There's a nice tea to warm us up too on a cold day. Really fun. So that was an experience. The place is called Banh Mi Chai or Banh Mi Vegan. They have so many different options. To be completely honest, I'm sure Vanessa feels the same as me, not all of them hit. So I would recommend doing the number 16 or 19, the one with the spicy chili sauce, and maybe the one with the peanut butter. That's it for my first meal in Hanoi. I'm stuffed. Let's see what else we can do here for our few days. So much energy. I love these little streets where they have these local vendors selling food and people just sitting and eating. So much going on. But here we stumbled upon a new place, which is actually St. Joseph's Cathedral, which, as you can tell, does not look like an Asian building because it was influenced heavily by the French, and it's built in a Gothic style, so it has sort of like a European church vibe. It's really beautiful, really cool to see right in the middle of the busy, beautiful Hanoi. I mean, look at this. That's Vietnam right there, obviously. That looks like Europe, so it's really cool to see that while walking around exploring. Just stumbled upon it. So that was a lot of fun, everybody. We just went into Circle K, which I love going to convenience stores in Asia. It's like the coolest thing ever. And we got a little drink to sip on while we explore the old quarter and eventually go somewhere else where I might get another drink or two, to say the least. We also found some really cool artisan chocolate made in Vietnam. Beautiful. This is made in Da Nang, where we just were. This is like an oolong chocolate, or oolong tea chocolate. And this one, I don't know, but it's cool. And yeah, it's all vegan.
They're all from Vietnam.
Yeah, all from Vietnam. So far it's a lot of fun sipping on this while walking around, but it's definitely not relaxing. You have to keep your brain switched on at all times. Most places in Vietnam, especially Hanoi, because all the traffic, the motorbikes, the cars, pedestrians trying to pass you and get their way. But anyway, still enjoying it. So we're here at Beer Street in Hanoi, and here I'm just trying the little beer Viet. Probably can't hear me. That's okay. I'll get a little closer to the camera. And usually the beer supposed to be pretty cheap, but here it's towards the end of the street, so a little bit more pricey. But our pricey, it's like $2 versus like 25 cents. Anyway, really beautiful, lots of lanterns. We'll explore more later. So guys, if I'm ever doing anything social, anything drinking related where it's lots of people, the way to keep Vanessa happy is french fries. That's what she's here for. I'm here for vibes and beer, maybe get a little bit of buzz. Vanessa's here for salty snacks. Perfect. Crazy. Cool. Good morning, everybody. It's a cold morning here in Hanoi. We're gonna start our day with order some coffee at the No Coffee Cafe. If it's not too busy. If it's too busy, we'll go somewhere else. It's not for the claustrophobic. These are such small staircases and little seating areas. It's really cool. Any seats? So many floors. I think there's 5 floors. Look at those views. Lovely. Seems so nice and busy. Oh my gosh. We made it. Really cool cafe though. So many floors, so many places to sit. Don't know how they do it. Really unique experience. So now we are walking around Hoan Kiem, or Lake of the Returned Sword, which I'll tell you a little bit more about that story here in a second. We're actually here last night. Not during the day, it's still equally as beautiful. A little less romantic in the way of lights and that sort of stuff. Really cool, more visibility. We're gonna check out one of the main features here in a second. So now on Hoan Kiem Lake, we're crossing this beautiful little red bridge, which you can see from most parts of the lake. It's really small and scenic and nice, and it costs 50,000 dong to go across the bridge to that place on the other side, which is about $2. So $2 a person, which is a fair price, I think. And as you can see, it's quite beautiful. I love the little attention to detail and like the colors and the arts and drawings here, which really takes up another level as far as beauty and interest. And if you look right next to me, I was just talking about those pictures. Look at this picture. It's a turtle with a sword on its back, which actually plays into the legend of the name of Hoan Kiem Lake and why it's named this way. I've never seen a turtle that looks like this. So I just learned some crazy stuff in there. Apparently those little turtles on display are actually were real animals. They're just taxidermied or preserved, and they are like 250 kilograms when they were alive, which is like 540 pounds or something like that. So massive. There's only 6 of them left in the world, so they're extra special and extremely rare, which makes me feel like they are sort of like mythological creatures or sacred animals in their own right. It's so cool to see that and learn more about the story, which I still haven't even told you yet. Come here, warm me up. So what's the legend behind Hoan Kiem Lake in this little area here? So it turns out back in the 15th century, the Ming invaders from China were trying to take Vietnam and make it their own, but they fought back due to the help of a turtle, which actually gave the general or leader, I think his name's Lo Lei, a magical sword. He used it to defeat the Chinese and send them away and get their independence. Then he came back here and returned the sword to the turtle, and then the turtle went back to the lake happily ever after, giving this lake the name Restored Sword Lake from that legend. And actually those turtles I was telling you about before look prehistoric, honestly, and really beautiful and cool, and makes sense to know the name of the lake and the interesting legend behind it. So cool to learn a little bit about the culture and folklore here in Vietnam, just besides seeing the beautiful places here in Hanoi. But let's see some more and get some food, because I'm getting pretty hungry here in Hanoi. It's also just so nice to walk around this area. It's really beautiful, and there's little sections with these kind of purpley cattails. Really nice to walk around here during the day. Loving it. Also, another observation after being in Hanoi so far is there's definitely a very clear French influence. You can walk around this pond and seeing the gardens, seeing a lot of the buildings, seeing the cafe culture. Definitely has a strong European feel, but definitely Vietnamese too. It's a really beautiful blend of cultures, which honestly makes it distinctly Vietnamese in my opinion, and which made me really want to come to Hanoi in the first place, to see some of the grit, some of the old culture. Ho Chi Minh City looks really cool too and beautiful, but seems more of a traditional big city, where this seems very interesting, very layered, hectic, but just full of personality and energy, which it definitely is so far. And look at this. We just have this gorgeous little shopping mall, which sticks out like a sore thumb, but not a sore thumb, a beautiful thumb. This is such a cool eating experience. We're in this little alley across from a temple. It's all vegan pho, and we're just here with a bunch of locals in this little alley, just tucked right in the middle of nowhere. And the pho is delicious, so delicious. Love it. So that was a really cool eating experience. Now we're sitting outside the Hoa Lo Prison relic, which is a really interesting but kind of gruesome and scary part of history that happened here in Hanoi during French colonial rule, which we'll show you more of the inside and talk a little bit more about the history and meaning of this place. But I'm interested to see and learn about some of the unique history and sites in Hanoi, even if it is a little bit uncomfortable at times. Showing what was undoubtedly some darker moments in history, the Hoa Lo Prison was still one of the most interesting things we saw and did in all of Hanoi, and it takes you back through the history, showing the original Phu Khan village before the French actually turned this area where the peaceful Vietnamese people were focusing on farming and pottery into what is now the Hoa Lo Prison relic. But back then it was used by the French to imprison Vietnamese, maybe people who are rebelling, who were trying to fight back against the French colonization and French rule. And you could read about the conditions and see them firsthand by seeing the actual old prison cells that were then used for the Vietnamese by the French, and then later, of course, used by the Vietnamese for the American prisoners of war. And you could even see things like the guillotine, which is the famous French beheading tool, which is very grim to see. But it was interesting to see how they depicted the Vietnamese struggle with very loaded terminology compared to the Americans. So entrance to the Hoa Lo Prison, or aka the Hanoi Hilton they called it, because it was not like a hotel as far as quality, but had a lot of people here staying here, so they called it the Hilton. It's only 50,000 dong per person, which is about $2. And so far it's interesting to learn about the conditions that the prisoners went through, the time that the French were colonizing, and the revolution, essentially painted through a Vietnamese perspective. I'll show you more interesting stuff as we explore. It was truly heartbreaking seeing the pictures and reading about life for the Vietnamese, especially the children, during the war with America. And seeing them use guns and having to fight back and learn different things as kids was really just so sad. But on a different note, it was fascinating and kind of puzzling to see how they depicted the Americans' life as being prisoners. It's almost joyous and like a big summer camp where nothing bad ever happened to them, which definitely I don't think is historically accurate. So that was a super interesting place, super interesting piece of history to visit. It's buildings like these that make me fall in love with Hanoi, everybody. Just look at that. I feel like it's gonna be the front of a book or a movie. delicious. Wow, that was a special experience. You can probably tell just from where we're walking right now. I am ridiculously full. And the food was so delicious. So good. Now it's time for the water puppet show. Let's see what it's all about. You excited, Vanessa? Do you know what to expect? So that was a really cool experience at the Water Puppet Theater. Really fun, really interesting, beautiful music, and really cool to learn some sort of stuff about the culture, see like what life was like for the farmers, kind of depicted in this fun way, and some old like folk tales and like legends and stuff, all for a really reasonable price. Good afternoon, everybody. It is our final day here in Hanoi. We started off the day actually going to this little neighborhood in the West Lake, a little bit north of here, which has lots of vegan options, lots of cafes, and we got some really delicious coffee. Some really delicious sweet baked goods, which is kind of hard to find in Asia. Those really sweet, sugary desserts that people in the Western world tend to like a little bit more. We have a little bit more time today, so let's see what we can get up to with our final day here in chilly Hanoi. And here we came across another little temple pagoda area, which is actually right near the West Lake. It reminds me of the one by Hoan Kiem Lake in the Old Quarter. And we're going across this beautiful little gray bridge leading to the entrance here over the little river. Really beautiful and cool so far. So those are really interesting birds. I have no idea what kind of birds they are, but they're big black beaks. And they're really big in size. And they're making a racket, as you probably can hear me right now. And right now we're standing right by the Chan Quoc Pagoda, I think. I could be butchering that. I say quack, I sound like a duck. But anyway, it's really beautiful, really red, really iconic, right near the West Lake as well. And it's really beautiful. Let's go walk up and get a better view of it up close and personal. How beautiful. I love the yellow and the reds all together, the green trees. Such a gorgeous place. So that's a really gorgeous pagoda, everybody. Definitely recommend a visit. Lots of beautiful colors right in the water. Really enjoy it. And here, everybody, we're at the John McCain Memorial. Kind of unassuming, you might not expect it. I wasn't a big John McCain supporter. I didn't vote for him. I was too young to vote, actually. Otherwise, I probably would have voted for Obama, to be honest. But anyway, really cool to see this because obviously he was captured and put in the Hoa Lo Prison, which we did visit a few days ago. And I have a little bit of memorial for him, which definitely shows him more as like a prisoner, which is interesting to show how they depict history and what they want to focus on versus the American perspective, I guess. So as you guys can see from our sideways face, the train tracks are literally right over here. So I don't know how the train's not gonna feel like it's gonna ram right into us. Nervous? Yeah. So a worker just told us that I need to turn my body right to make sure it's not from for the train. To not cross this line that's literally 4 inches away from me. And she said, I'm gonna go inside because I have family. So I'm definitely excited, but tiny bit nervous. Not really, but gotta be careful. I lived. So that was an exhilarating experience. Did you enjoy it, Vanessa?
Yeah, but oh my god, it is crazy.
It was crazy. And Vanessa was saying it's really cool that they turned this like natural thing into a tourist attraction. This is a normal train track. This is not like put on as a show. And they just opened all these beautiful little cafes. And it's really charming, beautiful atmosphere too, with like the green, the different like lanterns and stuff hanging up. So yeah, really cool to do this. Definitely have to plan around it though. And would highly recommend it. So it's an iconic experience here in Hanoi. So right now we are in this massive complex which has Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum. This is actually the square where Ho Chi Minh a long time ago announced their independence from the French colonies. Trying to strain out of the shot, I think, right?
Did you not see what you just did?
What I do?
Watch the video back.
I'm sorry, Vanessa. I did not mean to hurt your little beautiful face. But anyway, sorry guys, that was really funny. Back to the history. This is actually really serious stuff. This is where Vietnam, or Ho Chi Minh, the leader at that time, announced that they were going to be an independent entity from France colonization, which is really cool. Let's explore this really beautiful historic area here in Hanoi. So Vietnam loves its folklore and myths and stories, and similar to in Hoan Kiem Lake, the One Pillar Pagoda has a really famous story. So apparently 1,000+ years ago, in like the year 1000 something, there was an emperor, and he could not have a male heir to reproduce to continue on his name. And he had a dream one night that the goddess of mercy brought him a male heir in some way, shape, or form. So later on, he actually had a child with a peasant girl who was the male heir. And in order to show his appreciation, he built this pagoda over 1,000 years ago. And it has the one pillar because it's supposed to look like a lotus flower coming out of like the stem, because the lotus represents like purity in the Buddhist sort of belief and tradition. So really interesting architecture behind this, or story behind the architecture. And it was actually destroyed by the French in like the 1950s during their colonial period, which is really a big bummer. So it was rebuilt. I don't know when it was destroyed. I think it was rebuilt in the 50s actually. Could be getting the dates a little bit wrong, but just want to give you the context behind it. So that is all of our first impressions of Hanoi. I loved this city. I think it is truly one of the most unique places to experience different cultures and learn about history in an eye-opening way. But Vietnam has much more than just Hanoi, including the beautiful coastal city of Da Nang with great beaches and great adventure, and also the culturally rich town of Hoi An, right near Da Nang, and beautiful nature just a few hours south of Hanoi at Ninh Binh with some of the most iconic, gorgeous scenery you'll see in your life. So that's all, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.